Do you still chase the pump?
The pump is always out there. And you always have to chase after it, yes.
Right at the bottom.
Oh, we got it. Oh, we got it. We're live. Welcome to the Pump is Full, everyone. Zoom edition. This is very exciting. My camera doesn't work, so I hope you like the still image of me. But we got the whole gang here. And let's just start off with what everybody wants to talk about. Zach, tell us about Tom Brady joining the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It's surreal. I don't know what else to say. Like, it still really doesn't make sense because it came out in like January, February that was a fit for him, and I was like, there's no way. Like, on paper, yeah, but I was like, there's no way Giselle is going to move to Tampa because Tampa Bay is the strip club capital of the world. Like, it's not they have the beach. That's pretty much it. And so,
do you know anything about the community they're building down there? Do you hear about that?
No, I mean, I believe it.
I heard something. It's like him, Derek Jeter, like the Bucks owner, and someone else are all making some neighborhood or community down there.
There's so much money down there. I believe it, and yeah, it's been wild. Because I did not believe it until I woke up that morning and he posted that picture or that post on Instagram about the Patriots. It said forever Patriot, and I didn't even read it. I was like, oh, he's staying. And then I saw he was leaving. I was like, oh crap, this might happen. Because I was fully expecting us to just re-sign Jameis and ride that again. And I think that's what they would have done ultimately. But I'm cool with it. We're loading up for a 2-year run. I mean, we're pretty much going to be the Rams, which long term's not good.
My thought on this was, so we know that he was beefing with Belichick. That's what everyone pretty much thinks is why he left. But why do you think he joined the Bucks?
Because we had better weapons than probably
LA.
all of his other options. Out the Chargers, they have Keenan Allen, who's older than I thought. I didn't know he was already 30.
He just had a lot of injury issues.
Yeah, and then they have Mike Williams, but the Titans didn't want him, or they didn't pursue him. And then, I mean, who else was he going to go to? The Raiders. And so the thing with the Bucks is they have the second most salary cap, and they're the youngest team in the league. So
the burning question is, what number is Tom Brady going to wear?
It's going to be 12.
You think Godwin's giving it up?
Well, I could see him going back to 10 because he was 10 at Michigan, but he has this whole TB12 brand. I don't know how you could do that.
That's fair.
And Godwin's only a third-year player. He's going to give it up.
Anybody else got any hot Brady takes?
No.
If not,
really.
we'll move into this other hot news story.
Wait, I have a Bucks-related question. Zach, do you think after the 2 years is over, Bruce Arians will retire too, and they'll all just
Yeah, because he signed his contract last year was I think a 3 or 4 year deal, and so it's always been a 3 or 4 year thing. He's gonna hand it over to Todd Bowles probably.
I mean, I feel this makes a lot more sense to go make a run in the Rams because they tried to make a run with younger pieces.
I think it's 100% the right thing. We haven't been relevant since 2003, and I think the worst Tom Brady's going to go is 9-7. I can't see him having a losing season. I don't care who he's on. So I don't know. And the NFC South has been so good recently, even though the records don't really show it. Every game's competitive, and so with the Panthers definitely going down, the Saints are at their last legs. The Falcons are kind of having to blow it up a little bit. It's the time to do it.
All right, so moving on, I guess kind of related to Brady and Belichick, Bill O'Brien made absolutely one of the worst trades for, I would say right now, DeAndre Hopkins is at no worse the third best receiver in the NFL. He catches everything. And the fact that they traded him for a second-round pick and David Johnson, who has a fat contract, by the way. His contract is so expensive. I can't believe he's this incompetent of a GM. Like it's shocking how bad he's GM and coach. I didn't know that.
Coach too. I think he's terrible at everything.
Yeah, he's so bad. He always fucking blows the playoffs. Like he got really lucky they upset the Bills because the Bills kind of were running them. And they blew it against the Chiefs too. They had like a 21-point lead.
They're up 21 points.
Like this dude is incompetent, and considering what's his name? Fucking Stephon Diggs, who we all knew was gonna get traded, got traded for a fucking payload to the Bills. It just doesn't make sense at all. I can't believe he gave so little for one of the best players in football.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean
I understand it from like the
There you go.
You're zooming.
What?
All right, go ahead, Hud. Go. You cut out.
I understand it from like both sides, like the Bills and the Vikings. But like I feel like I was reading something. I feel like Diggs, like his player like production and stuff's gonna go down like a good amount than it already was. Like he will be the number one guy. But I saw this stat. I don't know if you guys saw this. And I know it's this bad. But Josh Allen threw like 4% or like 25% on like deep balls. And Kirk Cousins, I think, was in like the 70s or 80s. There was some difference like that. And it was like crazy. And that's like where a bunch of Diggs' catches came from.
But I mean, still, it's like the trade's bad. And at Buffalo, like the trade makes sense. Like they need a receiver.
Yeah.
And Stephon Diggs is proven he can play.
John Brown and Cody Beasley were the two like guys last year.
You know who I did? Because I'm reading this free agent website. You know who the Bills got? They fucking signed Josh Norman. I didn't even realize he got cut. I didn't realize anything about him, but he's on there now.
They're pretty much. It's funny. The Panthers, like old players, they're going to the Redskins, Bills, and Giants, and that's like it. They're only going to like those three teams. Like the Redskins.
There's no players.
It's crazy.
There's no players left on the Panthers from the Super Bowl 50 team.
That's sad. I'd
That
be
was the last one.
if I were a Panthers fan. They've just blown it up like in the way you're not supposed to do it.
What are y'all's thoughts on the Nick Foles trade? Because that's another one. Nick Foles to the Bears. They finally got their savior at quarterback.
I actually liked it. I mean,
Yeah,
I
like
like
it
the
too.
contract, but they couldn't go back with Trubisky. Like I feel like he's lost that locker room.
Oh,
So if you're a receiver, you have to love it. And their defense is still pretty stacked. They just have to have a quarterback who can throw the ball.
they just signed Artie Burns. Oh, Will, that was our former #1 draft pick in like 2016. Yeah, he sucked. He got toasted. And they have 10 roster tight ends right now. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the Jimmy Graham signings.
Yeah.
They pay him $16 million. That's so much.
But I don't get it. But I think the full thing, at least they'll be competitive. Like at least they won't just score 3 points a game anymore.
I like it from the Bears' perspective.
So do I. I can't believe that Dak turned down his contract. Cal, do you want to? I know you're muted. Do you want to tune in real quick and talk about Dak? No. Oh, I got you.
I think I saw something today that he's about to come to sign. They had some contract that was coming out that he might sign. I think it was like 4 years, like $35 million or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe I don't know. That just seemed like they gave him a good contract and he turned it down. And the thing is, they don't have any other option at quarterback other than to not sign him and draft someone.
Yeah, they have to keep him.
Mm-hmm.
He was a top 5 QB last year, stats wise.
I don't think so. I don't think he's worth like the big money necessarily. Like he wanted like $40 million is from what my understanding what the contract was. Or so. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Dak is.
How much did they pay Cooper?
Oh, they paid him $100 million, 5 year, $100 million.
Yeah.
So they good, and it's funny. I like the Redskins offered him Cooper a better contract, and he still didn't sign with them because I'm assuming they're the Redskins.
I didn't even understand why the Redskins did that. Because
their receivers are bad, other than Terry McLaurin, and
like
he's
a couple years away. Like that seemed like they're super young and they need to just. I'm not really sold on Haskins to be the franchise guy either, but it seemed like they shouldn't have wanted to spend that much of their cap space on one guy who probably wouldn't be getting the ball as much as he did in Dallas. But it didn't work for him.
Where did Melvin Gordon sign? Didn't he sign with Detroit or
Broncos.
Broncos? Okay, I like that.
I like them too. I was reading something today. They might be like a sleeper team next year for like the AFC, the one of like the wild card spots, because they added him, and that defense is still pretty stacked on like all three levels. They just added Kamir Jackson, and I don't know. It's just like offense. There's like some people said that like Cam would be a good fit for Gardner now, which I think Cam Newton probably be better than Drew Lock, but I feel like you can't just like go away from Drew Lock right now. But
Second-year player.
I think the Panthers, their handling of how they did the Cam Newton thing was so bad because like they had to cut him because everyone was like, well, they obviously don't want him and we don't have to trade for him. There's all these other, like they just shot themselves in the foot with how they handled that.
They screwed it up so bad, and I love it. But their fan base is like so pissed off. Like I went on their subreddit when they signed Teddy, and none of them liked it. And I went on yesterday when they cut Cam, and they were all just so pissed off. Like Matt Rule there, he has started off on not a good foot. And like even Greg Olson's like commenting on Instagram posts, like going at him, and he was like the nicest guy in the world. So like they did him wrong too.
I know, like it's just because they could have. I don't know, especially because I remember the thing where they said, oh, we're letting Cam look for a trade partner, but he didn't even ask for the trade. Like he wanted to come back. They handled it so poorly that I don't know how you could have handled it well necessarily, but they just did like the actual worst thing they could have done.
The crazy thing with Cam is he played 2 games last year. In the Rams game, they lost the first game of the year, and he played pretty well. And in the Bucks, he did not play well, and we beat him. But like you could tell his shoulder was just done. But like he had a full year to rehab. You can't think he's gonna be like that again. Mm-hmm. So like I still think you're getting a pretty good starter. I just don't know why they like if they're gonna be in rebuild mode. I don't know what they're doing. They've made some moves to say they're going to rebuild, and they made some that say they're gonna try to go for like trying to win the division, which they have no shot. Mm-hmm. But I really don't know what they're doing, but it's good to see.
Yeah, and then I totally agree with you. I don't know what they're doing. They signed Robbie Anderson to a $20 million deal, which I like. He's productive, but I would rather just go draft someone. I don't really know what
can't throw the ball deep. Their quarterback can't even throw it deep.
They signed Robbie Anderson?
Yeah,
yesterday.
2 years, $20 million.
Oh my God, that's a lot of money.
And then I saw a bunch of Panther fans. They were complaining. They were mad. They would go out and like spend this money on Robbie Anderson. They're like, you guys never wanted to go spend that money on Cam. I mean, granted, it's a different ownership, but they had like a valid point.
No, Cam never got. He had. What did he get? Like he got a bunch of.
His best receiver when he was there was an old Steve Smith and like Scott Calvin Benjamin.
Well, Kelvin was good like 1.5 years, and then he got fat.
Like
I was wondering if he was still fat, and I looked him up on Instagram, and he is still fat. If anyone was wondering,
it's his receiver.
You would think this is such a good wide receiver class too. Like you could, you didn't have to pay that money.
Like I don't like the Packers today just signed Devin Funches, which I don't really understand either.
How much? Would they pay him? Let me get a look.
I'm trying to look right now.
I don't think it was. I saw that.
It was. There has no money on this.
Oh, he's just expected to sign. Yeah. I'm reading that too.
I guess it's a fine pay because he's only 25 and like he's a big receiver, and so he's kind of like a little bit of the opposite of like Devontae. What's his Adams? But I don't know. I think this receiver class is so deep that I don't know why you want to go out and pay one of these receivers when you could still get a productive guy in like the second or third round. You don't have to spend a first round pick on some of these guys.
I saw a mock draft today that had Lynn Bowden in the 6th round.
This what?
I know it's crazy. Like people are dumb, but it's like this receiver class. You can get a starter in at least the 4th or 5th, like a slot guy at least. Like it's so stacked.
I can't see Lynn in the 6th for the sole reason that he's not just a receiver. Like you can use him in the run game and he's a returner.
Yeah.
I don't think he should go past the 3rd at the latest. Like I don't get it. I think he's going to get screwed by not being able to do visits.
I see him like as a late 2nd, honestly. Like I think that's a perfect spot, late 2nd, early 3rd for him, because like Ruggs and Judy and CeeDee Lamb, they're all like obviously going to be taken, and then after that, you're going to like want like teams are like, well, if I can't get one of these elite guys, I'll get like an elite pass rusher or something. But then once you hit the 2nd round, then you're like, okay, this is where I'm going to start taking the not, because I don't think Lynn's necessarily a 1st rounder, but he's definitely like a solid like 2nd rounder.
Like at least right now, I think he's a gadget. Like put him in the slot and put him in like same thing the 49ers did with Deebo Samuel. Like just give him the ball.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's a great comparison.
I know some team tries to do like some bullshit wildcat with him and just like fucks him up.
See, I hope he gets drafted to like a team that's like smart enough to use him, not like the Redskins. No, they might be smarter. I don't know. But like someone dumb like Adam Gase from like the Jets or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God! If he goes to the Jets, I'm gonna cry because he's so incompetent on offense. Like Adam Gase doesn't know how to.
They just signed Rashad $8 million a year.
Yeah, they need to get drafted with like 1 or 2 receivers. So I still feel like Quincy Anu is not healthy. I don't, because he didn't play. I don't think he played that much last year. But I'd be so mad if I was Sam Darnold and I see guys like Baker's getting a bunch of weapons put around him, and there's another young quarterback off the top of my head. Like I don't know, like Drew Lock's getting like Melvin Gordon. I mean, granted, Sam Darnold has like they got him Le'Veon last year, but they've done like a terrible job like kind of building.
Oh, the Bills went out and got Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, that's another one.
And they drafted Devin Singletary. Yeah, they drafted.
So yeah, I feel like the Jets have done a bad job with that.
What are our thoughts on Phillip Rivers to Indy? Because like this whole quarterback thing was like it was so interesting to see where all these guys were gonna go, and we're still waiting on Jameis. But what are your thoughts on Phillip Rivers?
I think they're the heavy favorite for the AFC South now. Like I don't really see another team. Actually, I don't know. Tennessee. I'm gonna be curious to see how Tannehill does now that he has his money. I don't know if it'll really affect him, but I would still take the Colts like over them.
Yeah, I'm interested with the Titans to see, like, they couldn't stop Henry in the playoffs, but now every team's going to stack the box and just try to take him out. If they can do that, they're going to make Tannehill beat them with – I mean, A.J. Brown's good.
A.J. Brown's really good, yeah.
But, like, I don't know. I think I'm with Hudson. I think the Colts – I mean, the Texans are going to be competitive because Deshaun Watson's that good. But I don't know. The Jaguars, they're out.
Yeah, what do you think the Jags are doing?
They're just
they have so many picks.
I feel bad for 2 years.
They really have done. I don't like their free agency. I don't think they got signed Tyler Eifert to a pretty big deal.
Yeah, every year.
Yannick Ngakoue, I'm pretty sure won it out, and they franchised him. They got.
I think he'll be out probably like Cam. That's what people are saying.
They got signed Joe Schobert to a pretty big contract, 5-year, $53 million.
That's so stupid.
They gave Dark Clemson on a 3-year deal.
I feel like they haven't upgraded their offense, and their offense probably needed the most work.
They don't have a backup quarterback to Minshew right now.
And Minshew's still kind of a backup quarterback.
I know, like he's a 6th round. That's why, like, I was talking to one of my friends last night, and he was asking me about Jameis going there. I was like, they're not going to do it. I don't want Jameis. I think Jameis could do a lot better than that. But like, why would you not bring him in? They can't rely on Gardner. Just
it's him and Dobbs.
Yeah, no, I agree. And this is coming from a dude whose profile picture in this chat right now is me dressed up as Gardner Minshew.
Like, it's just crazy. Like they're so confident in him, and good for him. Like I hope he can win some games. But that's like they're not giving him anything to work with.
And he has D.D. Westbrook, but he's a solid receiver, but he's not like an elite level talent or anything. And they don't have
Yeah.
any really strong receivers. And Fournette sucks.
And
Fournette,
they have Fournette, who's the most one-dimensional back in the NFL.
Yeah.
All he can do is run forward.
3-yard rusher over and over again.
if you, I'm sure you all remember Jeremy Hill. He's like a bigger Jeremy Hill. Like all Jeremy Hill could do is run forward. And
I thought you were going to say Jeremy Hill was in Jacksonville, and I was going to be like, oh, okay.
you're like, oh wow, they really did well. Oh, speaking of running backs, Todd Gurley to Atlanta. Hudson, what do you think about that?
Todd, I mean, like, I wasn't one of the fans that was like calling to sign him because, like, I'm not a Georgia fan. I actually hate Todd Gurley. I lost the fantasy football championship to him, but he, I don't know. It's low risk, I guess, from our side because we're not paying him a ton. It's only a year, and I still hope they take a running back at some point in the draft and try to develop him. But I saw a statistic that he was one of the like top pass like blocking running backs in the NFL, which I think will help out a lot. So I don't think he'll be solid from like that point of view. He seems motivated and says he has like stuff to prove. The knee's kind of sketchy though, especially because it's like I don't think we didn't see it in the physical because he couldn't fly out to Atlanta or whatever. But I don't know. I'll be interested to see what he looks like come like camp time and stuff. But I mean, I like it overall though. It's low risk.
He's honestly I feel like in such a similar offense as the Rams. He's got a really good passing game and a sketchy offensive line. So it's the exact same thing basically.
The Falcons have drafted like last year they had 2 first-rounders on their line. So I think they'll be. I didn't realize the Rams were so bad last year. Like their O-line was like historically bad.
Yeah, it really was.
And like I think Gurley still, like Hudson said, if they can get somebody to not even split the workload, but just like take some off, I think he'll be fine. The Rams were just like running him like out of the shotgun. Like he was already 3 yards behind the play, and he just kept getting hit.
Wait, is Devonta Freeman still on the team?
No.
He isn't fine yet. They cut him.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
Dirk I saw like a PPF stat like the like Dirk Cutter's like favorite, who I'm not a huge fan of, but like his highest percentage of runs were like kind of like those zone stretch plays, which like Todd Gurley kind of thrived in. So it's another like positive thing with it.
Yeah, he used to run those with who are our running backs? Peyton Barber, Doug Martin had a really good year under Cutter.
Doug Martin can't do stretch runs though.
He used to be able to before he got into drugs.
I'm running out of time. Hold on. Thank you,
Yeah.
Zoom. It just extended it. Cool. Thank you. So the Las Vegas Raiders, I think so if they didn't sign Marcus Mariota, I don't think I would put like $1,000 on Jameis Winston going there because it just makes sense because Gruden's all about fireworks. But what do you think? So first of all, the Raiders, 2 signings that kind of confused me were Mariota and Witten. Because I don't think Mariota's the answer at quarterback.
I hate the Witten signing. I don't know
Yeah,
And I just don't understand that. Dude retired 2 years ago. Dude was in the booth. Dude was commentating from the booth.
He's like a hero. I was
He
in
got hair
Dallas
plugs.
last
He was
month.
checked out.
Yeah, I was in Dallas like last month, and he was like there are Witten's jerseys, billboards everywhere. Like the guy's a hero. Why is he going to? He's getting paid. I can't really fault him that much.
Yeah, he's getting $4 million. He's not going to have more than like 400 yards. I'm like,
I feel like they're just going to use him to block because they have Darren Waller there that can catch passes.
It's just gonna be weird seeing him in a black Raiders uniform. It's gonna be so weird.
I wonder if they're kind of like kicking themselves that they like went and got out and like tried to seek him and didn't wait for like Jameis or Cam. But I feel like they would have known that at least one of them would have been available.
I went back and because I remember when the Bucs had the number 1 pick and they picked Jameis over Mariota. Like everyone knew it was gonna be Jameis for like a few months, but Gruden, I watched like the draft video, and Gruden actually liked Mariota more, which doesn't make sense because he said since then he loves Jameis and all this stuff. But he liked Mariota more out of college, and so maybe he's like, I don't know, maybe he wants a really safe quarterback because that's all he had at the Bucs when we won a Super Bowl with a guy who never threw the ball. So maybe that's what he wants.
This is like who is the Eagles head coach back in Chip Kelly? I feel like he's like Chip Kelly wanted Mariota
Dude,
so bad.
Really offered. It was like 2 first-round picks, 2 second-rounders, and Fletcher Cox for the number 1 pick, and the Bucks took him down. And looking back, that would have completely changed the whole. Like we would have been set.
Yeah, crazy that they denied it. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what the Raiders do. I don't know. Like, do you think because there's no way their stadium's done, and with the whole coronavirus thing, I can't see they're having like as many
They
workers
might go
out
back to
there.
Oakland.
They really might have to. Like, it's just not going to be ready.
Well, they played like in the San Francisco Giants stadium last year, and I feel like there's enough stadiums, I guess, in that area. There's like where they played the old Oakland Stadium, the Giants. They could work a deal with the 49ers or something. They could find somewhere, I guess, like in that area to play if it's not ready.
Mm-hmm. I actually think the Dolphins have been loading up in free agency, and they're going to be looking nice. They got Eric Flowers, who's been iffy, but I think he's like they need a better line, and he's got some experience. They got Jordan Howard. They got Shaq Lawson, who I think he's going to do well because Brian Flores is a good DC.
They got him for like $10 million, which that's not much for a pass rusher.
It's 3-year, 30, so yeah, $10 million. And like I said, Brian Flores, I think he's a good coach. He was a good DC. Kyle Van Noy, he coached him in New England.
Brian Jones.
Yeah, so like I think the Dolphins are going to be, especially with the Patriots who are not going to have Brady, and just with everything, I think the Patriots are going to be competitive.
Watch.
But I think the Dolphins could potentially be the team if Tua is looking healthy, because they're definitely getting Tua if he's on the board.
I don't know. I keep seeing like I listened to this one podcast on Bleacher Report, and they keep saying that Tua's the favorite, but they like Justin Herbert a lot because they want like somebody to come in and play next year.
What if they sign Jameis? They could sign Jameis and draft Jerry Jeudy.
Fitzpatrick, like they had the exact same stats that one year they split time.
Mm-hmm.
He's the exact same player.
But they're gonna be good, especially because they have all these draft picks. They're getting an elite level receiver, and they're probably gonna get like an elite level defensive talent. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what they do.
It might take them a couple more years, but they'll be good because that division, unless Belichick's not gonna tank, so I don't know what they're gonna do, but it's pretty wide open now.
God, I'm kind of looking at the Giants right now, and I do not really like what they did in free agency.
I don't know how they haven't signed Clowney yet. Like they have nothing else to spend their money on. Like they gotta have somebody to come in and generate some excitement.
Wait, what did you all say?
I like the Blake Martinez signing though.
Yeah, he's a good player.
I think he's right. Did one of you all say?
I think Dion. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say, did one of you all bring up Rashad Perriman earlier?
Yeah.
They signed. Why would you? He's not good. Oh, sorry. Continue talking. I didn't mean to cut you off, Hudson. I'm just shocked by that.
I said I think Dion Lewis will also be like a good change of pace, kind of like catch passing back when Saquon's not in there and take a little bit off the load of him. They signed him, I think, this morning.
Oh, I do. I see that. I actually do like that signing.
That's what the Falcons need. They need somebody like that.
Yeah, Brian Hill had a solid year last year, or Ito Smith. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't draft anyone. I kind of want them to, but they like those two. Speaking of the Falcons, what do you guys think about the Austin Hooper biggest tight end contract of all time?
I like Austin Hooper. Don't like the money because you still have the two best tight ends are George Kittle and Travis Kelce. And the fact that you're paying a dude more than either of them doesn't make sense because they're both still young and both obviously better.
I don't know how Cleveland, like when other players' contracts come up, how they're going to be able to pay.
I don't know. I don't like that fit for the Browns because they have so many big contracts already they've just signed. And they had a pretty athletic tight end who can't stay healthy, but he's Njoku. He's like 6'8".
Well, I heard what they want to do is kind of run what Minnesota did last year with like Irv Smith and Kyle Rudolph and like those like two tight end sets, which like on paper they look super good with two like elite wide receivers and those two at tight end, but I don't know.
They're not going to be able to pay all these people.
Exactly. Like Miles Garrett's deal, I think comes up next year or 2 years.
They will not be because they gave Jack. Granted, they needed offensive line help, but they gave Jack Conklin a fat contract too. 3 year
I
42
don't know
million.
what they're gonna do. Like
They re-signed Kareem Hunt too.
Oh, they gave him a second round tender. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of Hooper though, I really like the trade Atlanta made though, getting Hayden Hurst. I think he can be solid and kind of fit in there. I was reading some stuff like I think it was on like Baltimore like Reddit page, and they were saying that like his biggest issue is he got hurt his rookie year and just kind of fell behind Andrews and then whoever their blocking tight end was. So I don't know. I feel like he'll be kind of solid. He'll be solid there too and kind of fill the void that Hooper left.
All four AFC North teams have made huge moves. The Ravens have made moves by just trading and getting picks for this draft because they got a 5th from us, and obviously they traded for Hayden Hurst and they got like a 2nd and 5th, right? Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm. They got the New England 2nd in the 5th round.
Mm-hmm. So we
basically traded Sanu for Hayden Hurst, which I'm good with.
That's a good trade.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Now, if you praise it like that, it's really good. They got Calais Campbell for a 5th, which is insane.
That's stupid. That's unfair.
And they kept their defense intact. They got Matthew Judon back. They got Jimmy Smith back. Their defense is going to be really good again. And then the Steelers, they got Derek.
Yeah, what do y'all think about the Ebron signing?
Oh, I like it because I've been saying I wanted a tight end. I don't know how much you know about Eric Ebron, Will, but he caught 12 touchdowns from Andrew Luck that one season. He went off, and
he's super athletic.
Mm-hmm. And he's been people have been taking shots at him, saying he's like got a bad attitude, and he keeps responding to people on Twitter, just saying like we'll see on the football field, blah blah blah. Basically, like saying like how he wants to play in Pittsburgh, and I like the signing. And 2 year, $12 million. Like considering you have some of these other guys like Tyler Eifert and fucking Jimmy Graham getting like more expensive contracts than that, I feel like I'm pretty confident with the signing. Plus the Derek Watt signing is kind of cool just because. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the Steelers are setting themselves up to at least compete. Like, I don't know. I think the Bengals, they're spending a lot of money, which for the first time in their history, like they never spend money.
They've made a couple moves that like I feel like are
they got DJ Redder.
They got Bell today. That was Von Bell was a good.
Von Bell was a nice signing. They signed Trey Waynes.
Yeah, I didn't like that one. That's the one I
Alexander.
Texans, but apparently it's good.
They got fucking 2 of Minnesota's DBs. That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing there.
But they placed the franchise
on have some help because they didn't give Carson Palmer or Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, I guess they gave him a little bit, but Carson Palmer got no help there.
I think the AFC North. I think the AFC North is going to be dependent on this. It's gonna so many things are gonna change on if Ben Roethlisberger is his usual self. If he's as good as historically he has been, I think that's gonna shape up like the rankings. But if he's just kind of like, if he's about the talent that we've had like from our quarterback play last year, I think Baltimore is going to come in again and take the division.
Yeah. Well, that's the biggest thing. If Ben's even a third of what he used to be, they're still going to win because what the Steelers go last year, like 8-8.
Yeah, 8-8.
So and that was with the bottom of the barrel quarterbacks. Like they're a stacked roster. They just need a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So Zach, what do you think of?
He's
What do you think about what the Saints have done with signing Sanders and then Malcolm Jenkins, and then paying Andrews Pete, like their 3 big things?
They're loading up. I mean, this is their last year, so I don't know.
They placed their first round tender on Taysom Hill.
I don't have any faith in Taysom Hill. I saw Cal I was just like, I'm not going to say anything. So I hope to God they go with Taysom Hill because he has less passing completions than Johnny Hecker, the punter for the Rams. That's the most stupid argument of all time. The guy sucks.
I hate him.
I really like
He's not a player in all sports. When he blocked a punt against the Bucs in he did like the Duke floor slap on our field. Like he's the worst. Like I can't stand it.
I do really like the Emmanuel Sanders signing because $8 million a year for a
Yeah.
receiver, like he's a pretty solid receiver, and he's gonna do even better in a Saints or he's gonna do probably just because San Francisco is pretty good. He's gonna do about just as well in New Orleans offense.
Yeah. I saw the Bucks where he wanted to go to it was Tampa Bay, New Orleans, or who's the third? It was Tampa Bay, New Orleans, and somebody else with like a new quarterback. Maybe Indianapolis. Like he wanted to go somewhere like a new QB.
Mm.
And he chose New Orleans was the only one who offered him $8 million. But like he obviously wants to win a ring, like really bad.
What do you think of the?
If they make the Super Bowl, he'll be the first player ever to go to the Super Bowl with 4 different teams.
That's crazy.
Damn, yeah. That is. What are your thoughts on Wait, what are the 4 teams? So there's the
he
40.
was Pittsburgh when he was a rookie, or when he was really young.
Mm-hmm.
The Broncos, and then the 49ers, and then he makes the same.
Yeah, I didn't. The one I was forgetting was us because I wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was on the team. Like I knew he was there. I didn't know he was on the Super Bowl team though.
He's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on the Redskins trading for Kyle Allen? A fifth round for Kyle Allen makes sense because he showed he could run an offense.
This draft class sucks. So like this quarterback draft class after like the top few guys.
I was gonna say it's so top heavy.
It's so bad after like the 3rd round. So it makes sense. And like apparently Haskins, like I know like there's been a report he can't read a playbook, but like I don't know. He looks so good at Ohio State because that's like the most stacked college in the country right now, or one of them. But, like, once he got put on the Redskins, and the Redskins have a good O-line, they don't have that many weapons, but, like, he did not look good last year. So I don't know what they're going to do. And Ron,
I don't –
right to him.
I know, like, Daniel Snyder, like, loves Dwayne Haskins. Like, I think him and Jigger got, like, in a fight last year. He wanted to bench him at one point. So I don't think they're, like, bringing Kyle Allen in there to be the starter. But, I mean, obviously Ron Rivera really likes him. Like, he rolled with him the majority of last year. I mean, granted, Cam was hurt. But I don't know. It seems like a 5th-round pick. Like you guys said, though, like, it's not a great quarterback class. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Dwayne Haskins starts out, like, 0-3 and, like, not playing good if we see Kyle Allen in there.
Just implodes, yeah.
I didn't realize they signed Peyton Barber until I'm looking at this thing.
Yeah, I saw that. He's just, like, a short – like, he can get you 3 yards. But I liked Peyton Barber, but I don't know. He's just like a short down guy. Like he was our number 1 guy for 2.5 years, and he just never could do anything more. But he'll be good there.
They gave Kendall Fuller a big contract.
I like Kendall Fuller. I like him and Kyle Fuller a lot, but I don't know. Might not know everything, but so Vic Beasley, what are your thoughts on Dumb getting signed by the Titans for $9.5 million? 1 year.
I mean, it was a nice little prove it deal. He won't have to be like the main pass rusher there because they have a handful of guys that can do that. But if I was a Titans fan, I wouldn't expect much out of him, but I also wouldn't be surprised. It'd be really fitting if he went there and had just like a great breakout year and then signed another huge contract somewhere next year and then just flopped again. But I wouldn't expect much as a Titans fan.
Like those guys who are just like I don't even know like what to call them, like splashy. Like there have been so many guys who have had really good years, done nothing, then have one more really good year and then get another big contract. And that's just what they do. And I could totally see him being one of those guys.
Yeah, I don't really care if he does good, but
he was so good that year.
He's like they're talking on like the Atlanta sports radios this summer, and like unless he gets double-digit sacks again, which I don't think he will, he'll be like one of 2 players only to like get like double-digit plus sacks and not get to like 7 or like some like lower number like again or something. It was some crazy stat like that.
Yeah,
I think the last team, unless you guys have any other players you want to talk about, the last team I kind of want to talk about is the Chargers because I like what they did with Eckler. I think he's getting paid like $8-9 million a year, which is pretty good for a quarterback or a running back. And he
Yeah.
obviously showed he can thrive in that offense. I like Chris Harris signing, and I like Hunter Henry getting a franchise tag because I think Hunter Henry is probably I'd say top 5 tight end. At least I don't know how good his blocking is because I genuinely don't know, but he's a pretty goddamn good receiver. So I like what they've been doing in as far as their off season is going.
So what is everyone's predictions with Jameis and Cam right now? And I guess Clowney too, because he's the other like big fish.
It's Jameis, Cam, and who's the other? I mean, I guess Dalton's technically on the market, but
Dalton, yeah.
but like I don't know. I
Do you
think
think
What
New
happened to
England's
the
going to take
Patriots
him?
signing Dalton?
I don't know what the Patriots are doing.
Is
If I
that
was-
real or is that just like a rumor?
I think it's a rumor. If I was
That'd
the
be
Bengals,
so
I
funny.
would keep Dalton just because like
Yeah,
I think they're gonna want to start Burrow right away, but I kind of like the idea of having like a veteran and then the rookie kind of working his way in there. But I feel
Yeah.
like Dalton would be a good guy to have like behind someone.
he's at least a good guy. Yeah, like he'll mentor him.
He's got Andy Dalton probably will know he's on his way out. He's like I think my best option is just to get paid. He'll probably get paid better as a backup in Cincinnati than
Yeah.
wherever else he could go.
It's
And
true.
honestly, like I feel like he doesn't have to push for a trade right now because there's not a ton of job openings. Let's say someone gets hurt in the middle of the season, he'd definitely probably be the first person that someone would try to trade for if it was like a team making a push.
I honestly have I'm so confused where like Cam and Jameis are gonna
I
go.
have no idea.
I think my like guess for Cam, I think I texted this in the group chat. I think he'll end up still signing with the Chargers. I know they want to draft a quarterback, but like when I was listening to the Pat McAfee show, he was like pretty like convinced that the whole like Chargers just saying they were going with Tyrod, like making that public was just more of like a stunt to kind of like I guess get him released. And it would make sense to sign Cam from the point of like you're moving to a new stadium. You don't really have like a star player to kind of market around. Like the Rams have Jalen Ramsey to market around. They have Jared Goff, I guess. But like you bring Cam in, like a former MVP, gone to the Super Bowl automatically, and they're dropping new jerseys. I think in like a month or two. They'd
Yeah.
sell a bunch of those. So like a business standpoint, it would make sense. I think playing wise, he'd be solid in that offense. I don't know if they would still draft someone. I guess they would. That's my guess for him. And then Jameis, I honestly have no idea.
I keep seeing the Steelers and Raiders are the two
Yeah.
teams I see the most.
The
Don't know that
Jameis
with
to
Jameis.
Pittsburgh. I have like a good friend that's a Steelers fan, and he's saying that he's seen a ton of stuff about Jameis going to Pittsburgh and being the backup for a year and then taking over. So I don't know how y'all would feel about that. But
That'd be the best thing for Jameis because he needs to sit a year because like the 30 interceptions were the most painful thing ever. But like I think the high he had before that was like maybe 18. But like there was one year he was not bad. And it's totally he tries to do too much. And so maybe if he's put on I don't know. It's there's so many different ways with Jameis it could play out. I saw Bruce Arians said yesterday that he said that he had talked to 2 teams and one of them said that they were going to look into him. The other said no thanks. Like he's trying to get him a job. And I think he's definitely talked to the Steelers because he still has a good relationship with Mike Tomlin.
I was gonna say Bruce Arians like has left because he like got a better coaching job, not because like there was any bad blood. And so I feel like he definitely like would have contacted Pittsburgh and be like, listen,
Yeah,
Jameis.
he still likes Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
So I
Zach, do you
it's crazy.
think there'd be any chance that if Jameis can't find anything, they would bring him back as the backup or no?
I wish, but no. I mean, it's like an ego thing at that point because his agent. I don't know who his agent is, but he should be fired because he's screwed this up so bad. Because they came out so cocky after the year when he threw for 5,000 yards, but he threw 30 picks and probably lost us 4 games at least. Like we should have been a 10-16 minimum, and they came out saying he's going to get 30-35 mil a year, and like so firm on that it pissed the Bucs off. I think it pissed everybody else off. And so I wish he'd come back. Like I realized today I still have Jameis as my background on my phone. Like I love the guy, but he's not gonna come back. And it's the Bucks have a thing with quarterbacks where it's just like they're so cursed. And I hope Tom Brady breaks that, but I don't know. Like Josh Freeman, he was mid-level starter, and then he literally went to the freaking, I don't know, like Division 4 NFL. Like he went to some crappy league because he got pretty much blackballed. So I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen with him.
I think they'll both have jobs. I just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Jameis would be one of the better backups in the league. And like, if the Bears didn't sign or trade for Nick Foles, like he'd be the perfect backup for someone like Trubisky, who's super conservative. Because like if you're down 14 in a game, you put Jameis in, he's either gonna throw a pick six or he's gonna throw a touchdown. So I don't know. He posts Instagram stories him working out 20 times a day.
I do see those.
changing
I've seen
diapers.
some of those. He's changing a diaper, yeah.
Yeah,
I was
I
not
don't know.
expecting that.
Yeah, that was the first thing I saw this morning at like 8 a.m. I checked my phone and I saw Jameis posted a story, and it was him changing a diaper. I was like, well, that's not what I need to see. He's a weird guy. I don't know. I think the Raiders were the logical fit until they signed Mariota. Now I don't know what he's gonna do. Maybe I don't know. I've seen weird fits for him, like the Lions, like as a backup to Stafford if Stafford can't recover. Like I've seen weird spots for Jameis.
Jameis from
I
Detroit.
feel like having him as a
weird.
backup would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, especially if the starters like with Big Ben, he'd be fine because Big Ben's the same exact player, pretty much, only a lot
Yeah,
better.
I would agree.
But like if Jameis were to go back up somebody who's super conservative, like checks the ball down, that'd be the worst thing for that locker room because that starter would crumble. And like I've seen Denver too. Like that would be so bad for Drew Lock if a 5,000-yard passer went in behind him. Like that
I
would
don't know if they would. I don't know if they would do this. I've thought of this, but if the Colts ended up trading like Brissett to the Patriots, I could see them bringing Jameson for like, I guess just to sit behind Rivers for a year and then just kind of take it over. But I feel like that would be weird. I don't know. I don't think that would work.
I don't know. I would not want to be in his camp.
I'm interested because all the teams we keep bringing up have pretty good O-lines, like Steelers, Colts, Raiders. I'm interested to see what it would be his play behind a good O-line because the Bucks have just notoriously have had
Better.
one of
he got screwed. Like he I would say out of his interceptions, like 18 of them were on him. Like just terrible decisions, but like we had no run game except 1 year with Doug Martin for him. He had one tight end, OJ Howard, who dropped every ball, fumbled every ball, like was the most unreliable player. Offensive line's always been bad. He went through Dirk Cutter, who is awful. And I don't know. I mean, if Tom Brady wasn't available, he would definitely be the quarterback still, I think. But it's really just unfortunate for him because like any other year he would have been signed immediately. It's just like he had such in that London game where he threw 5 interceptions or whatever.
Mhm.
That one's just that's gonna forever tarnish his reputation.
I know. It's just him. It's hard to look past the good, the bad because there was so much good, but there was just so much bad too.
I saw that video the day he went on free agency. Someone released a video and it was like he had 22 dropped interceptions last year, and like I could see, as I was watching, I was like, yeah, I remember that. And like when Jameis is your quarterback, you're just like so happy. You'll take a 20-yard sack any day. Like you're so happy with that because he turns the ball over, fumbling, interceptions, an unreal amount. And if someone can fix that, he's gonna be a star. But he's been the same way since Florida State.
Yeah.
And no one's been able to fix it yet. So he'll be a backup.
So I guess it is time for we haven't done it yet, but if you guys have any shout outs or sponsors you would like to plug, now would be your time to. Let's go around. Zach, we'll have you start off.
I want to shout out the good friend of the podcast, Patrick Watland, for being a diehard Dolphins fan and seeing some improvement right now. That's all I got.
You got anything, Will?
I'm looking for it. Give me a second.
Okay, Hudson.
I'll give a shout out to Perginex,
Okay.
keeping us safe out there in our hospitals, getting a big investment coming. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Will. Hudson.
Shout out FS1. They had the Baker Mayfield Mahomes game on when they were in college, and that's what I had on right now, and it was a really good game.
That game is insane. It's
They
like
went
I
12
feel like if you look at the stats in that game, you would think they would have scored more than 42 points.
They had just between the quarterbacks, they had like 1,200 yards passing.
No.
It's crazy. My shout out goes to Animal Crossing New Horizons.
I want to buy that so bad.
I'm currently I've paid off 10,000 bells of debt already, and I'm still working my way to get out. Still 90,000 bells in debt, but you know we're making our way.
Man.
But that's all. This has been a very interesting podcast, I must say. I like the Zoom. But I guess that'll be all.
Mock draft coming soon.
A mock draft coming soon. Yes, sir.
This is my favorite part of the year. Well, if it doesn't get postponed.
No, actually, if they push it to a 7-day draft, the common fan won't like it. I will fucking lose it.
We would love it. Like,
if they go,
I would watch every night.
if they go in depth on our the Steelers have 2 7th-rounders, I want to be locked in on day 7.
I feel like teams would hate that though, because I feel like it'd be such a hassle because the teams they always have their first rounder in the next day for like the press conference and everything. So they'd have to be flying people every single day. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen, but as a fan, I would love it.
I would too. It's going to be interesting to see because we're not going to get to see the players on the boat anymore.
It's such a shame.
Devastating. No
That is
boat.
devastating.
I feel so bad for Joe Burrow. It's gonna be like the MLB draft where they do it in a depressing studio, and it's like no one's gonna clap. They're gonna have like fake applause when they go up and shake the hand or whatever. It's gonna, I don't know. It's gonna be weird.
All right, but that's been all, boys. This has been the Pump is Full. All right, I'm gonna.